There's the sun and the moon when the sky's looking blue. Light is catching your eye like it's meant to.
Hello, welcome to my channel for Evolved Humans. I am Ms. Day. This is a collective reading. So it's crazy because I feel like in the past, this is like a past, present, future type of they're telling you like kind of like what's happened and then like what it can be. And it's a really cool type of outcome. So it's like, okay, it feels like the outcome for this reading is for someone who wants to do things with purity, like with integrity and purity behind. I just feel like the word do it, like be pure. It's very interesting. It's like you want to build something to do with like a family or home or business or something, and it's just like very pure intentions behind it. It's like an organization even. Interesting. Okay. So I feel like in the past, it was very strange because I almost feel like my first thought was that you kind of like squared up with you and yourself, like kind of like squared up in the past, where you kind of like came head to head with your own view of things and where your life was headed and the way it was looking, and you were like, And I feel like you fought through your own inability to like, there's something you broke, like you broke a block in yourself where you were like, okay, and it's like you shook free of something. And then I feel like you took some time, you broke a tie or something too. That's not all of you, but I feel like somebody broke like a huge core connection. And I feel like some of you, that was literally between you and yourself, and you broke a connection, and it was also that same thing where it was because you kind of leveled up with yourself, where you were like, we've known for a while now that this was not where I wanted the future to end up, you know? So it's like, it was like you were waiting, stalling, and then you leveled up. And then I think you fought the battles of like even holding yourself back. Like you were like, nope, I'm going to release this one. I'm going to release this chain, this huge one that holds me back. And I think it broke you free in a large way. And I think you took a period of time to explore your own emotions. And I think that in doing that, it's almost like you came out of a period of self-reflection where you were holding yourself accountable, which you had already done, or you wouldn't have, dove like head first into your own healing. And it almost feels like it wasn't even like your intention was healing. Your intention was like a realignment with yourself. Like it was like you were pure of intention, even with your own time and self-reflection. But I think that with what has happened, the things that held you back, and I think there were moments that you like blocked out emotionally, and I feel like a lot of those things came up into your conscious awareness as you were going through this self-reflection, like kind of letting your own emotions flow, the freedom to do so because you broke free of some core, like maybe someone who was pulling off of you. It's like a gut thing. I think that this gave you, I feel like this is like a warrior mentality. This is like someone who is owning their faults. Like whoever this is for, like I feel like you own your faults, but you also did enough emotional work and you had enough accountability yourself that it's almost like hard for you to see where others don't have that accountability. And you've already seen that enough. Like you've seen that plenty along the way, and it's almost like you don't have time for that. You don't have time for that type of person. And that may feel almost like bitter to you, but I think that it's like, it feels very positive as I'm like feeling it right now. Almost like that's your growth, is recognizing that that's something that you don't have to accept as right, because that's not on the same level as you. Leveling up, like your willpower to level up. So I almost feel like one of you, okay, this feels like this pure of intentions. It's almost like some of you, it feels like there's a surrender type of feeling where you've almost like released fear to a certain degree, but it's almost like some of you released something that was financially something like secure. I know I don't usually talk about like financial stuff, but this feels so much like that's what. Okay. And I don't think it was only that. I feel like this is something that you almost kind of like lost, whether it's material or not. Something, it just feels like you lost or became willing to lose something with a trust of what you could handle after that. Like trusting what was going to come forward. Going forward. Okay. So going forward, it feels like the opposite is going to be the outcome. If you use that same driving force and like pure of intention, it's like if you use that same intention and you step fully into this new empowered version of yourself, it's almost like you have to stop seeing, I don't know if it feels like someone apologizes almost, even if it's not like out loud. I feel like you almost feel like you've become rude because of being so clear. So some of that is like release this feeling that you are an offense to be around when you're in your empowered state. It's like some people might not be comfortable with that, but that does not mean that you should have a ceiling on your own ability to feel and flow. So, okay. And that's where I think it's so important that they're like saying, look what you've overcome. Look at what you've overcome on your own with your own decision to do so. And also that you have authority built in you. Like with everything you've gone through, you've done it in all, it's like, oh my gosh. Before I started the reading and now it's coming in, it's like you've had grace. Even if you don't think you've had grace, there's someone, it's like a huge feeling here where there's been grace in your way of going through things and reflecting. So it's like they're telling you like this clear mind, okay, I literally feel like you've shown grace as you've literally fallen on your face. You've willingly still shown grace. Like this purity feeling is so, it just feels so much like you really don't have negative intentions. So it's almost like your view of yourself. They're like, don't let yourself have the view of you that like other people have put on you. I think that some of you almost like your shields go up when your empowered feeling rises up. It's like your shields go up, like you have to keep that empowered feeling safe. But it's like that is actually a reaction from the past where they're like, actually that's allowed to come up and you've done the work to step out of that shade. So step out of that shade, like step forward fully and stop seeing yourself in that same sort of like unsafe, narrow mindset that others have had of you. So I feel like as far as going forward, don't lose hope. It's like a weird don't give up on how you got here. It may have been a rocky thing along the way, and you may be looking back thinking, how did I let that happen? How did I let that happen? How did I let that happen? Why did that happen, and how could I have changed that? It's like you're real clear on right and wrong. And I feel like you're also very clear on things being wrong that were done to you, around you, and in spite of you. And I feel like going forward, they're almost telling you like, literally, if you remove the ceiling that others have put on you, then there won't be a ceiling. They're like remove it. That's crazy. It feels like a really literally like you've done the physical work. So let yourself emotionally, like let your perception, your outlook, like let it open up and be not under anyone else's shadow. Whew, it's crazy. It's like protecting yourself, and yet your purity is actually more, it's more of a service to the world than being shielded. Like the universe, they're working with you. Like you're not on your own. You're absolutely right in that. Okay. And I feel like they're also kind of giving this message like to go forward and maintain that purity. Like keep that sense of like, I'm willing to self-reflect and I know what's right and wrong. It's like you can carry your grace. It's like apply it all. Everything that you've done along the way, just because the pathway hasn't been quite where you wanted it to land yet, it's like your full capacity to create your pathway has not been diminished at all. Like it's literally in your hands because of the path that you've been on. So some of you, I feel like you've done so much work, and they're like saying like, stop looking back. Literally, I feel like I hear the word stop looking back. Stop looking back. And I feel like there's some past loved ones in here with that too. I felt, it's almost like I was hesitant to do the past loved one stuff on here, but lately I feel like there are some pulls where it just feels like it's sort of from them too, where it's like, this is obviously not all of you, but some of you I feel like if you've lost people recently, or if you've lost people a long time ago and it feels recently, like the cut is still kind of like right there as soon as you focus on it, like as soon as your awareness lands on them, it's still a slice. So I feel like that whole thing, it feels very much like stop looking back, stop looking back. We're here with you now, right now. I feel like that message was in all day today also. And it's almost like, this feels too like some of you ask a lot of questions about why. Why did that happen? Oh, well, I guess that's because of this. And I feel like sometimes this ties in with something else. It's like, it feels like sometimes that's looking back in a way that doesn't really like help you. It doesn't help you now. It doesn't help you to heal in that way. When you're like, well, trying to justify, oh, crazy. It's like when you're trying to justify certain things that have happened in the past. And it's almost like sometimes there's a place of self-worth that lived in the past. Even if that's not the same self-worth you have now, it's like that self-worth in the past is accepting of still searching for the answer. Like that low self-worth is still like, but why? And I feel like your new, more evolved self, it's like some of this, like I said, not all of you, but this is some of you. It's like when you're looking back, they're basically letting you know, like, just because bad things happen, I feel like some of you have let that low self-worth in the past kind of like make you think that it was almost like intended for that to happen to you or around you, or because of you needing to do this or something. And it's like, I feel like some of you, that's the past talking to yourself. And they're like, you've done so much work, you've squared up with your own self. And they're like, you need to see that and let us, like, once you open up to that past feeling of like kind of low self-worth with your guides present, it's almost like if you can feel their love too, it's impossible for that not to heal. Like if you can feel their love and your past self is in your conscious awareness, like they can actually help you pull that up, and you're the vehicle. You're like the object that can move that energy. So some of you need to allow guides to do that. And I feel like some of you, if you want, I'm sorry for saying need, some of you, I think that you have that option. And I think that that might be something that maybe you need to know, is that with your past loved ones too, you can kind of, okay, anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, so I hope that that was helpful for someone. And if you feel like these readings resonate with you, definitely subscribe to the channel. And I appreciate it when you've shared my videos or liked my videos, and I appreciate it when you comment and let me know when they resonate with you and how. That is nuts to me and very cool. And also, if you're interested in joining the membership, that I will put the description for underneath the video. And if not, I'll continue to add the readings, and I hope you have a good night. Okay, bye.